Looks like she's ready to commit an act of like freaking seppuku or something. I don't know. Is this like a beheading that's about to take place? All because you didn't get an A+ on the exam? Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, you're doing that to a kid, a child, bro. Asian parents are known to be extremely tough, strict, harsh in punishments, and often overly excessive in terms of parenting their children. Now, growing up as an Asian American, I feel like I felt some of those same things. Like, there were times where I got, you know, whooped into the oblivion, but I'm assuming this is all a lot worse in actual Asia. If you came from tiger parenting, man, I feel you, I see you, I hear you. Hey, I hope you're okay, man. But today we're gonna be learning more about the whole concept of Asian parenting. Asian parenting is more brutal than you think. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. We're starting off the video with aggressively smacking the hell out of our kid for not writing properly. Excuse me, bro. I'm in 5th grade. I don't know how to use freaking syntaxes and proper dictation yet, man. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, you're doing that to a kid, a child, bro. You know what? I never understood parents who like put hands on the kids. Let's just say, your friend, okay? They make a mistake. Would you beat the shit out of them? No, right? An adult, right? An adult, right? You wouldn't. So why would you do that to a tiny kid, an infant, a child? They can't fight back. All they can do is take that punishment, and it hurts even more for them, bro. And then they'll be scarred for life.
Physical punishment isn't just normalized in Asia. It's regarded as a necessity by parents. Let me show you just how extreme this violence is.
Okay.
In the West, spanking is the most common form of corporal punishment. While spanking is also common in Asia, Asian parents incorporate a variety of other punishment methods that may appear bizarre.
What the? Is this a Minecraft water bucket? What are we doing, bro? Is this Chinese prison torture? Chat, watching this video, what is the craziest thing that y'all ever been whooped by, bro? I gotta think, bro. It was probably a hanger, probably a cord, probably, oh, a belt buckle is bad. I'm not gonna lie. Top 5 worst things ever, bro. Who agrees? Metal part, and the fact that you can swing that, swing it like...
and cruel to Westerners. This is a rattan stick. It's a solid, lightweight stick made from rattan vines. It's commonly used as a weapon for self-defense. You want to guess what parents in Asia use this for?
Surely they use it to cook and clean.
In many Asian countries like India, Malaysia, the Philippines, or Singapore, a rattan stick or any type of long striking stick is a staple of the household. It's just a normal part of life in Asian countries.
Damn! Looks like she's ready to commit an act of like freaking seppuku or something. I don't know. Is this like a beheading that's about to take place? All because you didn't get an A+ on the exam?
Of life in Asian countries. In a 2010 survey, 78% of Singaporean parents believe that caning is an acceptable form of punishment.
No.
These sticks are usually used to hit the buttocks, but striking the hands is also a very common punishment.
True.
For those who haven't experienced getting hit on the hand, it hurts a lot more than you might think. If the strike is too hard or misplaced, the knuckles can actually break.
Yeah.
When it comes to physical punishment using objects, parents in Asia usually pick up and use whatever is at their earliest convenience.
I feel like that's one thing that black people and Asian people can relate to. Like, it's the same, bro. You know how if you're black watching this video, you might have been hit with like a tree branch or like a switch from the garden. In Asia, they might grab a damn rattan bamboo stick and beat your ass with it.
Common objects that people report being hit with are belts, slippers, plastic clothing hangers, wooden spoons, fly swatters, and broomsticks.
I never hit with a fly swatter.
Of what this can look like.
No. What did they do to deserve that though? Why? It's a kid. Poor child, man.
Getting beaten with an object might sound cruel, but in the eyes of these parents, they actually perceive it as a more justifiable alternative in which they don't feel guilty for their actions. Beating someone using their hands is regarded as an aggressive act, but in Asia, beating someone with an object is regarded as discipline or training, which feels more acceptable to these parents.
We're not fighting the freaking Karate Kid villain or something. I don't know. We're not in a Bruce Lee movie, bro. What do you mean training? There's other ways to train and discipline yourself.
In South Korea, there's a common term that translates to cane of love, because these cultures believe that disciplining someone with a stick or object is an act of tough love.
I hate it, bro.
I'll explain more about how culture influences this violent parenting style later in the video. Asian parents also implement pinching skin, hair pulling, or twisting and pulling ears as a less severe form of punishment. It obviously hurts, but it's typically regarded as a more gentle form of punishment. If these parents don't feel like implementing physical punishment, a common alternative is the depriving of food.
Yeah, that's not good.
Unfortunately, this stereotype is
no A+, no dessert, and no dinner. This is actually crazy. I never had this. I'm not gonna lie.
true. This is a culturally accepted practice in many Asian countries, as many parents believe that children having food is a privilege, not a right.
Food is a privilege? I mean, it is a privilege in the extent of like, okay, bro, some people don't have food in this world, but dude, a child needs food to survive.
Now, everything I just described is horrible, but now let's talk about punishments that are borderline torture. These punishments are more rare and less documented, but they do happen.
Like,
this is the kind of stuff that journalism and research rarely shine light to.
Okay.
And the only evidence of it is personal anecdotes.
Okay.
Waterboarding. Okay, I'm not talking about actual waterboarding, but it's something very similar. I've heard stories of Asian parents dunking their heads into water as punishment. But I'm not quite sure how common this actually is. A Filipino Reddit user describes her parents punching her to be out of breath, then having her head be held down in a water basin or water bucket.
This sounds like a Mr. Beast challenge or something. It sounds like something you do for a prize at the end of the video. Like, what are we doing? All because I didn't get an A+ on the exam? Are you serious?
If you've ever seen this happen before, let me know in the comments. Another punishment is kneeling, and this one is more common.
Yeah.
This involves being forced to kneel down on the hard ground for long periods of time. This results in excruciating knee pain and possibly even damage to the knee. And if you don't think this punishment is that bad, then try kneeling on a hard surface for 1 minute and you'll quickly change your mind. Kneeling was actually a torture method used in Vietnam on American POWs during the Vietnam War. That should put into perspective.
You're using Vietnam War tortured method tactics on your child, bro. There should never be a situation that ever makes you use any type of torture method on your kid, man. I think what I'm gonna have my kid do is wall sits. If you know, you know, bro. They burn your quads, bro. Brief intermission. If you're enjoying today's video so far, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Thank you very much.
Just how painful this punishment is. This punishment sometimes involves kneeling on rice or peas, which ingrain deep marks onto the knees. I can't show you what that looks like, but if you're really curious, then search up kneeling on rice or kneeling on peas. Lastly, some parents in Asia find it okay to punish using sharp objects, like needles or hairpins. This is done slowly and carefully, to be painful without causing injury. In an article written by the World of Chinese magazine, author Pei Xuanxie writes, "My mother stormed downstairs with a needle in her hand, and within seconds, I felt it pricking my lips. While pricking me, my mother asked me time and again if I would ever repeat my wrongdoing. One question, one prick, until 15 minutes have passed. Or perhaps
stabbing me with a needle in my mouth because I made a mistake, bro.
It was shorter. I had lost all sense of time." Again, punishment methods aren't covered a lot by the media, and the only way to learn more about this is through personal anecdotes. So, to all my Asian viewers watching this, tell us about how your parents punished you in the comment section. So why are
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I can't even say that. If I say that, bro, people are gonna look at me crazy and be like, yo, are you okay? Like, bro, there's some stuff, and I know if you're watching this video and you got, you know, hit with some crazy activities when you were a kid, bro, and you can't say it, I feel you, bro. It's like, bro, your parents might be cooked, bro. They might be going, you know, away for life.
Parents in Asia so cruel? Well, this is a complicated question, so let's break it down one by one. One very large reason why physical punishment is normalized in Asia is the prominence of Confucianism. Confucianism is an ancient Chinese philosophical and ethical system developed by this guy with a very wise-looking beard. It teaches morality, social harmony, and the importance and function of specific relationships in society. Confucianism also teaches people to subscribe to humanity and turn on bell notifications. Confucianism is the reason why Asian countries are collectivist societies, as opposed to Western countries which embrace individualism more.
Okay.
One important rule that Confucianism teaches is that the relationship between children and parents must be one of utter respect and obedience.
Okay.
Filial piety is a concept in Confucianism that children are in debt to their parents for bringing them into the world and raising them.
I don't know if I agree, bro. I mean, like, damn, I didn't choose to be brought here. And I get that, you know, you should reciprocate the energy of somebody who took care of you into this world or whatever. Like, if you had good parents, take care of your parents, right? For some people, I would understand them not feeling that way because their parents were like really, really terrible overall.
And children must pay their parents back by obeying their wishes and needs. Disobedience or failure to meet these expectations is often seen as a moral failing. In ancient times, being unfilial could even be considered a crime.
What the?
Though Confucianism is over 2,500 years old, its cultural impact and teachings still linger in many Asian and Southeast Asian countries, with examples being China, South Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, and Singapore. Because of this ideology, any disobedience in children is seen as a terrible action which must be corrected. This leads to the use of corporal punishment. In many traditional Asian households, there's a common saying that translates to, if you spare the rod, you will spoil the child.
What?
Confucianism
if you don't beat your child with a rod, they will be spoiled. Yeah, I guess that's facts, right?
Also affects how children view their parents. Children are expected to put up with the punishments inflicted by their parents and respect their parents' decision to punish them.
Right.
Most of these children will eventually grow up to financially support their parents, despite the way they were mistreated, and will be shamed if they don't. In China, it's actually illegal if a person doesn't financially support their parents who are 60 and older.
Really?
Whereas in Western societies, individuals who are mistreated by their parents commonly end up cutting contact with them.
Yeah.
And this is a completely acceptable thing to do in the West.
I think that should be acceptable universally, bro. Like, if somebody violated you, bro, you do not owe them anything. That's how I believe.
Confucianism is one factor to why the Asian parenting style is violent, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The biggest factor is the dog quality of life for people in Asia. For pretty much every single country in Asia, life either sucks there or life did suck there at some point within the last 70 years, or both. For those in South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh, the majority of civilians must endure hardships such as poverty, low wages, long and grueling work, having corrupt politicians, or high crime rates.
And all of that will lead to overall violence, which then leads to violence against children. I guess that makes sense.
And even in more developed countries like China and South Korea, parents are often overworked and have financial stress. In Asia, it's very normal to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Damn,
These
bro.
are people who struggle to stay alive. Spanking is nothing compared to what they
Bro,
go
you don't even have time to hit the clubs. You don't have time to, go and talk to the bros. If you're single, you don't even have time to talk to the hoes, bro. That's 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, man. At that point, you gotta find your wife at the job because you don't have time to find nothing else anywhere.
Many Asian countries also had to go through war and destruction within recent decades. The Vietnam War, the Korean War, the Cambodian Civil War, the Chinese Communist Revolution. These are conflicts that scarred and traumatized generations of people.
True.
If you're a parent who witnessed mass destruction, death, war, starvation, and suffering, then spanking or caning would seem harmless in comparison.
Right.
Although some of these conflicts are from over 50 years ago, that trauma still gets passed down in the form of discipline, leading to children today still experiencing that discipline. Compare this to Western countries. After World War II, Western countries have not experienced any devastating wars that traumatized the entire nation. Sure, there have been some small wars here and there, but none of it involved large numbers of Western civilian deaths. This also explains why violent parenting is much more prominent in Asia than in the West. A very large problem is that when Asian parents discipline their children, oftentimes they aren't doing it to raise better children, but also because they wish to take their own anger and frustration out onto someone else.
And that's a problem, bro. Like, take it out on a freaking punching bag. Take it out at work. Take it out on another adult the same size as you. But a kid, some people take it out on a kid. Some people take it out on their significant other, like their wife, bro. It's all lame as hell.
Example, many parents in Asia will physically punish their children for underperforming at school, not only as an attempt to push them to do better, but also because a child's bad grades reflects how they have failed as a parent. In China, schools and teachers publicly announce students' grades, and a bad score can be very humiliating for parents. This public pressure increases parents' frustration and insecurity.
This is like public shaming, bro. Damn.
Which increases the severity of punishment they inflict. Here's a video of a Chinese mom getting mad at her son because of his homework.
Oh my god, bro. Learning now that it's not even because she wants to do it because it's education, she's doing it because it reflects poorly on her is crazy. What the? It's a baby, bro.
Slapping as a punishment is socially accepted in Asia, so many parents also assume it's acceptable to slap for any reason.
Yeah.
This leads many parents to use excessive force against their children for minor mistakes they have committed. Simply spilling water or forgetting to do a task is enough for Asian parents to justify inflicting pain.
Right.
Academics are a very large factor to why children get punished in Asia. A study found that children who don't participate well in school are 5.6 times more likely to get serious corporal punishment than general children. This is because in many Asian countries, parents view their children as financial assets. Everyone in Asia wants to have a high social status.
I'm not your Bitcoin, buddy. I'm not, bro. What do you mean financial asset?
But because of the fast-paced, competitive work environment in Asian countries, reaching a higher social status is very difficult. In this case, a child going to a good college and getting a good job is the only way to bring a family to a higher social status. Along with this, many Asian countries have flawed retirement and pension systems, which means many elderly individuals must continue working in order to stay alive. However, this burden will be lifted off of them if their children are able to get a good job and provide for the family. This would allow the parents to retire early. Because of this, many parents need their children to succeed and are desperate to do whatever it takes to make their children work hard and earn good money. This mindset that children are financial assets is further demonstrated in more extreme cases.
And he's saying, like, bro, the reason why you even need to view them like that is because the economy is so cooked in a lot of Asian countries, because, bro, you on your own is simply not enough to take care of your family for the long haul or take care of yourself for the long haul. So you have to have a family with strength in numbers that contribute financially.
Parents sell their children into forced labor or forced marriage. This is especially prominent in South Asian countries, and I actually made a video that goes in depth about this that you should check out after finishing this video. Now, usually at the end of every video I make, I talk about how to fix the problems mentioned throughout the video.
Right.
But this is one of those topics that are much more complex and cannot be simply fixed with black and white solutions.
Okay.
Many Asian countries have implemented laws that criminalize physical punishment, but simply criminalizing this act is nowhere enough to solve this problem. Parents will still continue to mistreat their children in private, and no one will know. This is a deep-rooted problem that will take time and a lot of work from non-government organizations and the public.
True.
Although a lot of this is out of our control, what we do have control over is the kind of parents that we will be. This cycle of generational trauma can end with us. Of course, that doesn't mean we should become overly permissive and gentle with our children. Children still need consequences for their actions.
But punishments should only be used for the child's own good. Children should not be used as emotional punching bags.
And I just want to end this video off with one of my favorite quotes.
What?
Some of you might have heard this already. It might be a little corny, but it's very important for the topic of toxic Asian parenting.
Let's hear it, bro.
Because I believe a lot of you who experienced abusive parents should hear this quote. This is a quote by Bianca Sparacino. You're going to realize it one day, that happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all those who came before you. One day you will understand that happiness was always learning about how to live with yourself, and that your happiness was never in the hands of others. It was always about you.
Well, that was Asia's parenting is much more brutal than you think. I mean, we learned about the fact that they hit people's hands with sticks and stones, and they beat the hell out of their kids for failing exams or not doing well on work. But we also learned that it was not even because they care about the kids' education all the time. It's because it's going to make them look bad in social standing. We also learned that because Asian economies and their war-torn countries, sometimes the parents are just naturally more violent and take it out on their kids. And then they also expect the kid to be like a financial asset in the future. So there's a couple issues going on that relate to poverty, economics, and overall negative traditions, which keeps the Asian child abuse alive. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Link me new videos in the comment section and the Discord link in the description. Sub to the main channel, sub to this channel, follow the IG in the description as well. With that being said, have a great rest of your day. It's love you all. I love you, and I'm out.